Welcome back to Reddit Tales. In today's story, we follow a man whose girlfriend asks him to move out for a week so she can see if there is still a spark with her ex. As you listen, notice the moment where you would have quietly decided you were done. The air in our apartment did not feel any different that Tuesday. The smell of the garlic chicken I had just made still hung in the kitchen. My girlfriend Sarah sat across from me at the small AITA dining table we had built together 3 years ago. She was pushing a piece of broccoli around her plate, staring at the wood grain instead of at me. We had been together for 3 years, lived together for 2. I was 28, she was 26. In my head, we were solid. I was saving for a ring, a classic solitaire she had pointed out once when we walked past a jeweler's window. I had a spreadsheet for our finances, a plan for a down payment, a vision of us growing old and boring together. I thought I was building a future. I did not realize I was just building a comfortable waiting room. "Mark is coming to town," she said. She did not look up. She just dropped the sentence onto the table like a dead weight. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. Mark? The ex. The one who got away from college. The guy who played bass in a band that never went anywhere, who treated her like an option and left her a mess. I knew the name well. I had spent the first 6 months of our relationship helping her sweep up the emotional debris he left behind. "Okay," I said, keeping my voice even. "Is he passing through?" "He is here for a week," she said. This time she looked up. Her eyes were not guilty. They were bright, excited, nervous in the way people get before a big interview or a first date. That knot in my stomach tightened. He messaged me on Instagram. "He wants to see me." She took a breath like someone about to dive underwater. "I want to see him too, Dave. I need to see him." I put my fork down. The metal hit the plate louder than I meant it to. "You need to see him," I said. "What does that mean, Sarah? Coffee, lunch?" "I do not know," she said, a little too fast. "That is the problem. I do not know. We never really had closure. It just ended." She pushed her plate away, hands starting to move as she talked. "And now we have been together for 3 years. Things are good. You are great. You are safe." Safe. The word hit harder than any insult. Safe is what you call a car, not the person you are supposed to love. "But I always wonder," she went on, gaining speed now. "I wonder what if. It is not fair to you. And it is not fair to me to have this ghost hanging over us. I need to know if there is still a spark. I need to get it out of my system so I can commit to you fully. I need to be sure." This is one of those moments where a lot of people talk themselves into staying. They tell themselves it is honesty. Really, it is a test they never agreed to take. "Let me get this straight," I said, my voice very calm. "You want to pause our relationship for a week so you can test drive your ex. If he is great, you leave me. If he disappoints you again, you come back to the safe option. That about right? Do not make it sound so ugly," she snapped, cheeks flushing. "It is not a test drive. It is closure. I need to know if we are meant to be." She reached across the table for my hand. I pulled mine back. "I need you to do this for me," she said, voice dropping to a whisper. "If you love me, you will let me figure this out, but I cannot do it if you are here. It would be weird. I need you to go stay at your brother's for the week, or a hotel. Just give me the apartment until Sunday. Let me have this week to figure out my life. When you come back, I will know. And I promise, Dave, I am 99% sure I will choose you." 99%. She said it like it was a gift. She was asking me to leave my own home, the apartment where my name was on the lease, and I paid 60% of the rent, so she could play house with the man who broke her. She wanted to clear the stage so she would not feel guilty looking at my toothbrush while she cheated. I really looked at her then. I saw the entitlement in her jaw, the selfishness in her eyes, the incredible arrogance of asking me to subsidize her affair with my absence. In that moment, my love did not fade. It burned out, clean, fast. I realized something important. If I argued, I would look weak. If I begged, I would look pathetic. If I yelled, I would become the controlling boyfriend. She wanted a reaction. She wanted the drama, 2 men fighting over her so she could feel like the prize, so I made a different choice. I stood up, picked up my plate, walked to the trash, and scraped my dinner into the bin. "Okay," I said. Sarah blinked. "Okay, yeah, okay." I turned back to her, face flat. "If you need to figure it out, figure it out. I will go pack a bag." Her whole body relaxed. A smile broke through, half relief, half disappointment that I was not fighting harder. "You understand," she said. "Oh my God, thank you, Dave. You are so mature. Most guys would not get it." "I get it perfectly," I said. I walked into the bedroom and pulled my large suitcase down from the closet. "Just a week's worth of stuff," she called from the living room. "You do not need to pack everything." "I know," I muttered. I opened the suitcase. I did not reach for clothes first. I went to the small safe in the back of the closet and took out my passport, birth certificate, social security card, and spare car key. They went into the mesh pocket. Then I took my grandfather's watch, my noise-canceling headphones, the hard drive with my photos and work backups. I packed my suits, my good shoes. I left the old shirts and worn jeans. I moved like a machine, no crying, no shaking, just extracting what mattered from a place that did not. Sometimes the cleanest break is the one you do while they still think it is temporary. Sarah leaned in the doorway, smiling. "Mark lands in 2 hours," she said. "I was thinking of picking him up." "You should," I said, zipping the suitcase. "Would not want to keep him waiting." I lifted the bag off the bed and looked around at the room, our photos on the dresser, the bed we bought together. It all looked like a set on a show that had just been canceled. "Where will you stay?" she asked, following me to the door. "I will figure it out," I said. I stopped at the front door. "Dave," she said, grabbing my arm. "Thank you. I know this is weird, but when you come back on Sunday, we are going to be so much stronger. I just know it." She leaned in to kiss me. I turned my head so her lips hit my cheek. It felt cold. "Here," I said. I took my house key off my ring and dropped it into her palm. She frowned. "You can keep your key, silly. You are coming back." "You might need the spare," I said, "in case Mark loses his." I opened the door and stepped out into the cool evening. No slam, just a quiet click behind me. I went down the 3 flights of stairs, suitcase wheels thumping. In the car, I tossed the bag into the trunk and sat for a moment, breathing. Then I opened my banking app. I moved my share of our joint savings into my personal account. After that, I opened her contact, blocked her number, blocked her on every app. I was not going to my brother's. I was not going to hover nearby waiting for her decision. "Okay, Sarah," I said to the empty car. "Let's see if there is still something there." I started the engine and drove away. We were not on a break. We were finished. She just did not know it yet. The first night, I checked into a Marriott 20 minutes away. I expected to lie awake imagining them together. I thought my brain would torture me with details. It did not. I ordered a steak from room service, opened my laptop, watched something mindless, and slept 9 hours straight. Anxiety only survives when there is hope. When you know something is dead, your mind gets quiet. The next morning I went to work like usual. I am a project manager for a logistics firm. My job is moving things from point A to point B and solving problems when things fall apart. So I treated my life like a project that needed a new plan. On my lunch break, I called our landlord, Mr. Henderson. "Everything okay, Dave?" he asked. "Rent is not due yet." "The rent will be paid," I said, "but I am moving out immediately. I will pay the 2-month penalty to break my part of the lease and remove my name." "Is Sarah leaving too?" "No," I said. "Sarah is staying. She wants the place to herself. I am assuming she will take over the full lease. I just want my credit clear and my liability at 0. He paused. He knew her income was unstable. "If you pay the fee, I can draft the addendum," he said, "but she will need to requalify a loan." "That is between you and her," I said. "Send me the papers." I wired $3,000 that afternoon. It hurt to watch the number fall, but freedom has a price. On Thursday, I used the money I had saved for an engagement ring, about $12,000 in a separate account. I changed the label from Ring to Freedom Fund. I toured a 1-bedroom loft downtown. Exposed brick, hardwood floors, no history. It cost more than my old share of rent, but I did not care. I signed on the spot, got approved in an hour and asked for the keys that day. I do not have furniture yet, I said. I just need to move in. That night I lay on an air mattress in the middle of an empty room, eating takeout and listening to the quiet. No eggshells, no tension, no wondering whether I was enough. I was alone, and it felt good. Sometimes peace feels strange at first, like a noise that suddenly stopped. Friday night my phone buzzed. It was my buddy Mike, who still did not know the details. "Yo, you and Sarah okay?" he texted. "Why?" I replied. "Just saw her at Ollie's," he wrote. "She is with some guy in a leather jacket. Looks like that dude from that old band she liked. She is practically in his lap." Did not know if you guys were open or what. I stared at the screen, then typed, "We are done. Moved out Tuesday." "Damn, sorry man," he sent back. "Honestly, you dodged a bullet. Dude looks like he has not showered in a week. She looks desperate. She was crying, trying to grab his hand, and he was checking his phone." I put the phone down. Ollie's was where she and I had our first date. She had taken him there. Recycling memories because she could not be bothered to make new ones. In her mind, this was the great love she needed closure with. In reality, it was a man who could not be bothered to look up from his screen. Saturday I set up my new place. I bought a sofa, a television, decent sheets. By that night, the apartment looked like a home. Simple, clean, mine. I had not spoken to Sarah in 4 days. In her head, that silence probably meant I was doing what she asked, waiting to be called back in. She thought she was holding all the cards. She did not realize I had already walked away from the table. Sunday morning, the end of her trial week, I woke up, went for a run, made coffee, and sat in my living room watching the skyline. I unblocked her number. I did not call. I just waited. At 1:14 in the afternoon, my phone lit up. I answered and said nothing. "Dave." Her voice was shaky but trying to sound bright. "Hey baby, are you there?" "I am here," I said. "Oh, thank God," she said with a little laugh that cracked. "I missed you so much. This week was a nightmare. You were right. Mark is not who I thought. He is immature and selfish, and honestly he smells like cigarettes and cheap beer. I spent the whole time wishing it was you." She paused, waiting for reassurance for me to comfort her. "I realized something," she said, dropping her voice into that soft tone she used when she wanted something. "What we have is real. He was just a fantasy. You are my reality. I choose you, Dave. I choose us." "You choose me," I repeated. "Yes, I know I hurt you and I am so sorry, but I needed to do this to be sure, and now I am sure. Can you come home? I am making that lasagna you like. I want to forget this ever happened. Just come home, babe." I looked around my apartment, sunlight on the floor, my things in their places, no ghosts. "I cannot do that, Sarah," I said. "Well, why you are still at your brother's, right? Just drive over, I will make it up to you." "I am not at my brother's," I said. "And I am not at a hotel." "Where are you?" she asked, panic creeping in. "I am at home," I said. "I am at home. You are not here." "No," I said. "You are at your apartment. I am at my apartment." Silence. Heavy. "Dave, what are you talking about? You asked for a breakup, Sarah," I said, voice steady. "You asked me to move out so you could sleep with your ex. You called it a pause. You called it closure. I called it the end." "No," she shouted. "It was just for the week. We agreed. You said okay." "I said okay to the breakup," I replied. "I moved out on Tuesday. I signed a new lease on Thursday. I am not coming back. Not today. Not ever." "You cannot do this," she cried. "You cannot just leave. We live together. The rent, my life." "The rent is paid for this month," I said. "I spoke to Mr. Henderson. I paid the penalty to remove myself. Next month the lease is yours. You chose Mark for the week. You can have the apartment for as long as you want. I hope it was worth it." "He is gone," she sobbed. "He did not even say goodbye. I have no one, Dave. You cannot leave me alone." "We are not pretending anymore," I said. "You wanted to see if there was something still there. Look around. Empty closet. Empty safe. There is nothing there. Dave, please, I love you. Do not hang up." "Goodbye, Sarah." I ended the call and blocked her again. The silence in the room felt like the first full breath after being underwater too long. Of course, the story did not stop there. It never does. Not when social media exists. 2 days later, my friend Mike sent me a screenshot of her Facebook status. "Some men are cowards who run away at the first sign of difficulty," she had written. "A real man fights for his relationship. Confusion is part of love. Abandoning your partner when they are vulnerable is the lowest form of betrayal." Hashtags about heartbreak and fake love. I laughed. She was rewriting the script with herself as the wounded heroine. I did not respond. I did not post my side. I did not need to. Our friends knew me. They knew I did not walk away for no reason. Then the money started catching up. I got an email from the utility company. Automatic payment failed. Insufficient funds. When I left, I had removed my card from the shared accounts. Only hers remained. Texts followed from numbers I did not recognize. "You cannot just leave her with the rent. She is crying. Be a man. This is cruel." "At least talk to her," I replied once to her best friend Jessica. "She asked me to move out for a week so she could sleep with her ex," I wrote. "She called it a trial run. I just made the move permanent. If you believe she is a victim, you are welcome to help her with the rent." No reply. A few nights later, I ran into Mark at a bar. He did not know who I was. He looked rough. Jacket worn, hair greasy, that restless look of someone always expecting bad news. "Long week?" I asked, ordering a drink. "You have no idea," he said. "Came to visit an old flame, thought it would be fun." She went full intense. Day 2, she is talking marriage. Day 3, she is crying because I did not want to watch some romance movie. She kicked her boyfriend out for me, like literally made him leave. I told her, "If you will do that to him, you will do it to me. No loyalty." I bailed. He shook his head. "She kicked her boyfriend out," he repeated, as if even he could not believe it. "People are wild." "Sounds like you dodged a bullet," I said. "Dodged a nuke," he muttered. "Going back to Portland tomorrow. Good riddance." I finished my drink, paid my tab, and walked out into the night feeling lighter than I had in a long time. Even the guy she blew up her life for looked at the situation and said no. After that, the messages from her became long essays to my work email, the only address she could still reach. "Dave, what I did was not cheating, it was clarity. You are the greenest grass. I see now that the grass over there was dead. Please help with rent. We were partners. Does that not mean anything?" I read them once and deleted them. Life moved forward. I got promoted at work. I traveled. I kept seeing Alina, the architect from that coffee shop. One afternoon we were there together, laughing about how we each got into our careers when the door chimed and Sarah walked in. She looked smaller, no makeup, hair pulled back in a way that advertised exhaustion, not style. She was carrying a stack of flyers that said "Roommate Wanted." She pinned one to the community board, turned and saw me. Her mouth opened. She took a step toward us. "Dave," she croaked. Alina glanced at me. "Friend of yours," I looked at Sarah. I saw the dark circles, the cheap shoes, the panic. Then I thought about that dinner table, the word safe. The 99%. I turned back to Alina. "No," I said calmly. "I do not know her." I picked up my cup and took a sip. Behind me, I heard a sharp breath, paper crumpling. The door chimed again. When I looked up a minute later, she was gone. One of the flyers lay on the floor, crushed under someone's shoes. 6 months later, a mutual friend told me she had moved back in with her parents in Ohio. She had defaulted on the lease. Her credit was a mess. Mark had blocked her too. Me, I kept building the life I thought I would be sharing, just without the person who did not value it. I did not get a dramatic apology. I did not get a long talk where everything was finally explained. I realized I did not need it. Closure is often just a word people use when they want a last chance to control how you remember what they did. Sometimes the cleanest closure is the sound of a door closing once. She wanted to see if there was still something there. In the end, there was, just not where she expected. There was peace, respect. A life I chose for myself. Lesson 1. If someone asks to put your relationship on hold so they can explore another option, they are already choosing that option over you. Believe what they are telling you. Lesson 2. You do not need to compete for someone who treats you like a safety net. You are allowed to step away instead of fighting for a place you should never have to prove. Lesson 3. Quiet decisions can be powerful. You do not have to shout, explain, or perform your pain for anyone. You can simply move out of situations that disrespect you. Lesson 4. Protecting your finances and your documents is not cold. It is self-respect. Love without boundaries often turns into a mess you pay for twice. Lesson 5. Real closure does not always come from a conversation with the person who hurt you. Sometimes it comes from noticing how peaceful your life is once they are gone. What about you? At which point in this story would you have walked away? When she said safe, when she asked for the week, or only when she tried to rewrite what happened as your fault? And have you ever had someone ask you to wait in the background while they tested other options? How did you answer that question in your own life?